And we've been married for, as of this December 22nd, we'll have been married 44 years.
Wow.
And we've been, my wife's been teaching at university for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever we've been at the various universities I mentioned yesterday, she has taught. And we have children. We have a daughter.
Okay.
Who is a newspaper reporter and a features writer for the Waterbury Republican American. And that's what she wanted to do. She, as a junior in high school, she took a summer course at Syracuse University where she took a course in journalism.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for a special course for high school students. And after she took that course, she became so enamored with wanting to work in the newspaper that she asked if she could go to college instead of going to her senior year in high school. And we worked it out with Syracuse University
Mm-hmm.
to have her go to college early, and that she would get credit for some of the courses that she took at college towards her high school diploma. So she actually went to school to university at Syracuse a year before she actually got her high school diploma. And then she went on at the Newhouse School of Public Communications, which was one of the better newspaper schools. And right out of there, she got a job on the LA Times, and it's one of the suburban bureaus. But a year after she started there, they sold the LA Times to another group, and they closed all their suburban bureaus. And but she had been offered another job before she got the LA Times in the Waterbury Republican American, and so she called them up and they hired her.
Mm-hmm. Does having your wife and daughter, like having kind of been in the same profession per se, like does it help you? Does it ever help you when you're like faced with tough decisions here?
Oh,
No.
Sure. And my wife and I are. We often discuss books that I'm considering or manuscripts. I sometimes ask her advice about projects.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter as well. My daughter is a fantastic writer. She's won all sorts of national awards for feature writing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they both, I often ask their advice about this.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit about like your day-to-day duties on the job? Like, what's a normal day for you like?
Right. Well, my job involves business and editorial. So, like, on the one hand, I have to be concerned with the budget.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be concerned with business planning, that I have to make sure that every department is using their resources efficiently, and make sure they're not overspending, but make sure that and they aren't. I've got great staff. This is one of the best staffs I've ever had at any university press I've ever worked at.
Mm-hmm.
And each of the people is here are very dedicated to their jobs, and they do their jobs very well. So it makes my job easier when they can do their jobs well. And but I often advise them. Sometimes they make me the best choices in terms of how should we use color in this book, because color is more expensive. Is there a way that we can, should we make, especially now, and so many changes have happened in publishing in the last few years with electronic publishing and
Mhm.
electronic typesetting. You can now, of course, do it on your computer, whereas before you had to send it to a typesetter where you had to pay someone to actually typeset the book. Now it's all done electronically. So, so we have more options now than we had in the past. Before we had to, let's say, before 5 years ago, we had to make a decision to print, let's say, 1,500 copies of a book. And then we'd have to warehouse those books. Now we can, because of the way the technology has changed, even though we think a book's going to sell 1,500 copies or 2,000 or 2,500, we can actually print 750. Which it's less costly. The initial investment is less than if we were to do the longer print run, because we can reprint much more quickly now than, so that if we, let's say, sell through the first 500 or 600, then we will think about reprinting another 500 to 750. So we can sort of sell as, print as we sell, rather than hope that we sell 1,500, print 1,500. So I'm looking at the budget. I'm looking at are there ways we can streamline, make each department more efficient than it has been. And I'm always looking at ways to improve the technology at the press. And I'm looking at are there ways we can make book production more efficient and effective. Distribution, like for example, we have to market, of course, and sell our books and distribute them. This past year, or actually a year and a half, 2 years ago, we made a decision to close our warehouse. Okay, and the reason we closed our warehouse is that in an era when there's a dearth of resources, when budgets are being cut, we have to find ways to collaborate with other presses. And so many university presses join consortiums. So here in this case, we joined a warehousing and distribution consortium, which is run by University of Chicago Press. And they have over 100 presses belong to this consortium. And so all those presses have their books warehoused at the same warehouse. And so, and then those books are then shipped to people who order the books. And so, let's say in the United States, there are 100 top book buyers, like Barnes & Noble, Baker Taylor, Ingram. These are the major wholesalers and retailers. And so all of these presses warehouse their books at Chicago, and then these places then can order from Chicago books from 100 different presses, and they're all shipped out at the same time in the same packaging and